That is downtown Indianapolis, the capital, of course, of the state of Indiana, the home of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This incredible 2.5-mile banked oval with an infield, which we are using for Ferrari Challenge this weekend. My name's Andrew Coley. Joining me in the announcing booth will be Tony Villander.
Good to see you again.
And you, mate. Good stuff yesterday racing on day one of our double-header weekend. Today's looking a little bit trickier. We could see some storms here, and we haven't had any wet racing all year.
Yeah, that's a good point. To get those wet weather tires working properly, we need a decent amount of water. But again, not too much and not too dry racetrack. So it will be tricky. A lot of practice sessions were done with the perfect conditions. So let's see.
Yeah, perfect conditions this morning as well. So it remains to be seen what happens come the racing later on. Look at this place. The run onto the front straight here, past the pylon with the Ferrari logos on, the banking, is just such a wonderful venue.
Yeah, I remember for the first time coming to race in US. So actually for me, the biggest surprise were the carriages. Everybody, all the teams are together. There's no fence between the teams and the drivers. So you keep watching the other cars, what they're doing with the rear wing, what they're doing with the setup. So all this here is completely different compared to what we have in Europe, and I love it.
The drivers last night had a fantastic time. They went down and saw a preview of the Formula One movie on the incredible IMAX screen at the Indiana State Museum. Just having a fantastic time, they really are. So we're having a fantastic time too. Let's go racing. Welcome back to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, weekend number 4, round 4, as you can see on the bottom. There's actually double headers each week, so this is race number 8 of Ferrari Challenge North America. This is where we've been so far this year: Sonoma Raceway, Daytona International Speedway, Miami Autodrome, couple over in Florida, one over in California. Now, of course, we're up in Indiana, the legendary Brickyard. Then we head up to New York State for Watkins Glen International, Laguna Seca, back over to California, and then over the pond to Mugello for the Finale Mondiale. Let's take a look at the track outline here. You can see 2.5-mile oval. We're actually using the infield circuit here. So 14 turns, a number of overtaking opportunities, particularly of note turn 1, turn 7, and 12, 13. We saw a fair bit of action yesterday as well. There are some of the guests up on the pagoda. That's where I'm based. My name's Andrew Coley. Alongside me is Tony Villander. We have a fantastic view of the track, which is 35 degrees C right now, 27 air temperature. Not as hot as it's been. And I say, we did say at the top of the show there was a chance of storms, and actually that's why we're racing, Tony, an hour earlier than was planned. I think it's a good decision. We want to get the racing done.
Yeah, definitely a good call. We had even some weather earlier this week. We had also yesterday, just after the races, so not typically happening that the race director predicting what's happening in the coming hours, but I think it's a good call, so we get these races underway and everybody even safely back home tonight. So
yeah, and I think just so you guys are aware at home, this isn't a case of the drivers not wanting to race in the wet. They can race in the wet, but the prediction was for lightning. Now, if there's lightning within 8-9 miles of the venue, then everybody who's working high, so camera people, etc., everything has to come down and everything has to stop. And with it being Sunday night and a lot of our competitors having business commitments tomorrow, we need to make sure we get it done. So that was a decision, good decision by race control. And we're looking forward to going racing. This is Mitchell Green you're on board with there, who, of course, is one of the front runners for Copper Shell, and had a bit of a problem yesterday. He said himself he wasn't very happy with his performance. He's P2 on the grid today. We're really looking forward to seeing how he gets on in this one. This is Steve Check, so we have an on board with Steve as well. He had a fairly big off in Miami, so it's great to see him back in the car and a much better qualifying performance earlier on today. Steve gets himself lined up, and at this point it's just a case of trying to stay cool. It is a little bit cooler than yesterday, but it's still going to be hot in the cars, Tony.
yeah, definitely hot inside the car. When the cars are stopped, engines turned off on the grid, there's no AC, there's no airflow inside the car. So this is actually often the hottest moment. A little bit of suffering inside the race car, if you can call it that way. concentration, obviously, on the race start. A little bit easier to approach that turn one, having done it once yesterday, so you know what to expect, you know how to position yourself, which racing line to take into turn one, but also the sequence of corners straight after. Even after turn 4, you can still have the battles going on. I would say around the SS 5 and 6, you need the single line.
We saw Gary Ott yesterday was not quite aggressive enough off the start in his race and got a couple of cars come past him. We saw yesterday as well one of our pole sitters, it was Esteban Beckman, I think it was, who had the spin as well. So getting away from the line is really, really important. Somebody who's down there amongst all that tension is, of course, Amanda Busick.
Hey guys, still a relatively beautiful day here in Indianapolis. Hats off to race control for making the decision to move up these races, because all I'm seeing down here are blue skies at the moment, but we're ready for the back half of the season to officially start right now. Race number 8 on this 2025 Copa Shell season, and it's going to start right here in row 1, as you were talking about. Jan Bernier, Mitchell Green, these are the championship contenders. Jan pulling away yesterday, but it is time to get the festivities started here. Drivers, start your Ferrari engines.
We are getting a bit of a wiggle on here, aren't we? We're getting stuck in straight away. Now, if I'm a driver, Tony, I prefer that, to be honest, because I think the waiting is the worst part.
Yeah, that is true when you get the call to start your engines. Last high fives with your team members, but then it's all up to the concentration. You really need to be ready to expect everything basically into turn 1, avoiding other cars, overtaking others, and one of those moments where drivers are the most nervous is the actual race start. A lot of unknowns, a lot of things that are out of your control, so race start has always a special feeling for the driver.
Right, the cars are going to be heading out onto the grid. As say, the high fives are over. Look at that, they've even got the blowers. That's a leaf blower. Yes, that is a leaf blower. There are no leaves in the car, but I'll tell you what, that gives you a good breeze in the face, a good old leaf blower. So they use it to cool the brakes down as well sometimes. And if you've had a trip through the gravel trap, you might even use it to blow some of the gravel out from the under trays underneath the car. So we're going to get these cars rolled out onto their reconnaissance lap ahead of getting our second Copper Shell and Copper Shell Am encounter underway this weekend here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Race number 2, Copper Shell from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, weekend number 4, Ferrari Challenge North America. Yesterday saw some absolutely brilliant, clean racing in very similar conditions to today. It was a little bit more overcast this morning, it's slightly brighter now, but with the risk of storms going ahead early with the race. And these are your championship frontrunners. Jan Bernier yesterday with a brilliant result, getting the win. Mitchell Green unfortunately had his issues and dropped back. He'll be keen to make amends. Kevin Orsini and Gary Ott. Ott yesterday fought like mad to get back to P2, having been on the pole. Great job by him. Chuck Whittle and Roy Carroll make up row 3. On to row 4, it's Osvaldo Gallo and Jarrett Bilacek. Row 5, on the inside line, Brian Waltersdorf. Outside is William Naranjo. Row 6, Lisa Clark. And on the outside, Mike Luley. Row 7, Brad Evans inside, Fabian Spearman, who is the pole sitter for Copper Shell Am. Then it's Gabe Hrib and Melissa Kozira. Then you've got Edvard Tugin and Dana Goodwin. Followed by Michael Owens and Lance Corley on row 10. Row 11, Steve Czech and Lewis Flory, yesterday's winner. Henry Hummel and Tom Petromolo are on row 12. Row 13 is Bernard Gomez and Anthony DiCarlo. So, heading out on warm-up lap. Tony, what have they got to get done here?
I mean, the drivers know what to expect from yesterday's experience. Key thing is also to accelerate at the right moment, keep your right place in the 2 lines that we're seeing that are forming right now. Race director will look for potential jump starts, leaving the formation too early, and it's really up to the pole sitter to lead the group. We will divide the 2 classes with a little bit of gap, so at the start it should be a battle within the class. Maybe later on in the race, like we saw yesterday, some battles also between different classes, depending on pace what you have in the race.
Yeah, the Copper Shell Am guys not leaving quite such a big gap as they did yesterday between the two categories. They're obviously keen to get amongst it. But the most keen, I think, will be Jan Bernier and Mitchell Green on the front row. Bernier on the inside, Green on the outside. Green must make amends for yesterday and try and take some points off Bernier as they get on the throttle on the run down the straight. Green flag at the yard of bricks. Bernier gets away nicely. Mitchell Green following on the run down to the first corner. Who's going to get turned into there first? Green is on the outside. It's Orsini looking to the inside. Chuck Whittle has managed to get past Gary Ott, but Whittle's late on the brakes. Mitchell Green gets turned in cleanly in the background. Bilacek on the outside in the yellow and grey further back. And I think everyone's going to get through those first two corners cleanly, and that is really important here. It's tight, but it is out front. Jan Bernier leading from Mitchell Green.
Yeah, overall clean start. There was some contacts between the drivers, but no real drama, and everybody is still in the race, so good start.
Yeah, good clean start. Keen to see a battle between Green and Bernier. Gary Ott went back a couple of spaces. He looks to the inside here. Yesterday, Gary was on the pole, and the background's well passes. Hard to see who it is up the inside. It's the 111, which is Brian Waltersdorf in the blue and white, and an off in the background. Spin with the nose of the car off. That's offline. Oh, it's quite heavy contact there in the braking zone. Dana Goodwin, unfortunately, has had contact in the braking zone for turn 7, so we might see a full course yellow if that car is deemed to be unmovable, which is a shame. I mean, it's off the racing line, but it is directly in front of where you would go if things went south.
Yes, turn 7 is a tricky place.
Full course yellow, sorry to interrupt, Tony. Yeah, so full course yellow, that's a shame.
Yeah, going into turn 7 is a tricky place on your own. Having said that, also on on lap 1, that's even more trickier. So just misjudged the braking and quite big damage on the front of the car. And here we see...
That's oh no, that is...
it's been a big hit.
112 is Mike Luley, yeah, so it's two of our new drivers. Luley joined this weekend. So as in this year, so this is his first race this year. He'd be very disappointed. Luley been around a lot, of course, within the championship, but his first outing this year. Oh wow, Tony, that's a lot of damage.
A lot of damage, and also losing some liquid on
nightmare.
On the racetrack. So.
And he's driven back too. I understand why he's driven back, but he won't know that there's damage there, and they'll have to check if that's. Hopefully, it's water and not oil. Well, we'll see. The track crew here at Indianapolis are absolute pros, of course. You ride on board with Mitchell Green, who's in P2, and would have been hoping... I imagine that's the look on Mitchell's face right now. Arms folded and a bit grumpy, because he will want to get stuck into a race with Bernier, and nothing worse than when the tension comes away, you get a good start, and then you have to do it all again.
Yeah, I saw Mitchell at the lunch, and here we see...
Dana Goodwin is fine. That's the most important thing. Cars can be repaired. It's, yeah, look at the damage front right, Tony. Look. So in the background, watch for this contact. Oh, you could hear the hit, couldn't you, on the way in? And there, yeah. So over to the right-hand side, Luley drove away, and centre screen there, as you can see. Unfortunately, not the same for Goodwin. So they're waiting for the field to come through to sweep the racing line. What I really want to see is a rope on that car and drag it off to the parking lot ASAP. Let's go racing. But I think the process might be a bit slower than that, sadly.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time. Also, we need to check the racetrack if there is potential oil on the racing line. But first, the main thing is the drivers are okay, and then after we take the damaged car to a safe place, and then hopefully get back to racing ASAP.
Well, we know it's going to be a couple of minutes at least before we get underway. So if you missed yesterday's action, here's a quick look back at day 1 from Indianapolis. Ferrari Challenge North America continues with a visit to the iconic Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A fantastic show down on the grid, as always, as we get ready for weekend number 4, race number 7 here Saturday. Blue skies, a bit of cloud about, the weather hasn't turned up, and we were looking forward to going racing. Cars rolling away for their outlap off the start. Massimo Perina, the poleman, got a brilliant run. In the background, the poleman, unfortunately for Pirelli Am, had a spin. Esteban Beckman going backwards, lucky not to be collected. That kicked off a bunch of passing in the background as the pack all got in with each other. This is a brilliant move by Martin Burrows on the inside to get past Favre. But that wasn't the only action you're going to see in Trofeo Pirelli. It continued the entire way through to the end of the race. Cars getting into queues, meaning there were opportunities left, right and centre to make passes. Acosta here coming under pressure from Burrows. Ophir Levy making passes in the background. He passed Musial Senior here. Ophir Levy came up about 6 or 7 places from the pack. Brilliant job by him. This was Martin Burrows running wide. Unfortunately, he managed to hold on to the position. Falva tried to come around the outside and couldn't quite get it done. Burrows giving a little bit of a squeeze. Perina with an absolutely dominant win in Trofeo Pirelli. Really threw down pole, fastest lap and the win. But watch this. This was an attempt by Falva. This time around the outside of Burrows. Carried a lot of speed on the run up into turn 12 and got it done. On the inside, Acosta tried to get through as well. That made his exit tricky. He was alongside Ophir Levy. Levy and him came together, and Acosta was actually given a penalty for that post-race. Levy spinning around and being collected by Musial. The win then went to Falva, but Massimo Perina with a brilliant 3rd win this season. Falva with a 5th win. Amazing driving and action throughout the field. On to Copper Shell, front row, Jan Bernier and Gary Ott. Gary Ott made a mistake at turn 1 that saw him drop down the field. This was Mitchell Green. His championship rival Jan Bernier leading Green, trying to find a way through. In the end, coming under enormous pressure from Ott, who threw the car around like a drift missile for some of the race, laying down Pirelli rubber left, right and centre. Somehow still had tyres left, and the pressure that he put onto Mitchell Green meant that this happened. Green then unfortunately rejoined in what was judged to be an unsafe manner and dropped down the field. That could have big connotations for the championship. Jeffrey Nürnberg span. Everybody managed to avoid him. Gary Ott continuing to chase Jan Bernier right to the checker flag. Brilliant job by Bernier under massive pressure. And Lewis Fleury coming through as well for his 2nd win of the season in Copper Shell Am. Fantastic action throughout all 4 classes here at Indianapolis. The best racing we've seen on our first day at any of our venues this year. The drivers getting to, of course, kiss the bricks, the wonderful tradition at the Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Just the podiums to do, champagne all round. No drinking today, though, because they're going to do it all again tomorrow. Well, race control have made the decision to go red flag here while they do the clear up, which is good for the drivers because they don't want to miss. They don't want to follow the safety car around for the whole duration. So red flag, and that means that the clock stops, as you can see top left, and the cars are in fact recovered already. But I'm guessing potentially fluid on the surface, Tony.
Yeah, we've seen this procedure earlier this season, so I think it's a good call to stop the race momentarily. This is a fairly quick process. It won't take many hours. It's just a matter of giving the opportunity to clean the track, take and recover the damaged vehicles, cars from the track, and also check if there is oil on track. So we always want to put our drivers on track in a condition that we optimize the safety and we are well aware of the track conditions. So I think it's a good call, and I think in a few minutes time we are back to green and back to racing.
And they'll get to go and do it all again, but of course from their current position, so they won't re-grid as they were. They'll restart in race order and in single line, if I remember correctly. So it's a less risky restart, you know, than the double-sided grid.
Yeah, it's a less risky restart, but also I like the fact that we should get quite a lot of racing time. Even that on screen we see the time is going down, but the call to put the red flag, normally it should work nicely.
Okay, so maybe the clock will still run and we'll have a little less duration towards the end, but it's understandable to get everybody into pit lane. That helps to keep the track clear-up team safe as well. So look at Bilacek's livery. Amanda Busick is down amongst what's going on in pit lane. I think she's got Jan Bernier with her.
Hey guys, yeah, it does sound like that decision was correct from race control. Jan Bernier saying that there was fluid out there on the track. But here we go under red flag conditions. We'll get this thing back to green momentarily. But that means Mitchell Green has another opportunity at besting you into turn 1. How well are you at defending in your veteran status?
I mean, I think I've done this track a few times, so the key is to just get down there far enough where he doesn't really have an opening, which means not like braking super soon. I get to dictate the restart, so should be clean. Mitchell's a very clean racer. I think we're going to get through. Hopefully everybody behind behaves themselves and does the right thing.
Well, now that the points situation has changed just a little bit after race 1 here in Indianapolis, does that change your style of driving?
I don't think so. I think both of us we want to get to the end of races and not have penalties and have to go talk to the race director. So nobody wants to see the principal after school, and I'd like to keep it that way. And I think everybody at the front here has the same mentality, which is what I like about this group of racers is pretty good.
Well, Jan Bernier will take us back to green here at IMS. I'm going to head on back to Mitchell Green. I did talk to his team just prior to the race, and they were talking about the championship situation and how with drivers, from a mentality standpoint of how you want to push and make sure you stay in that moment. And as I move over to Mitchell, another opportunity with a restart with Jan Bernier. How will you handle this one?
Good. He's Rocket Man. Sorry. Hold on.
Live updates from the team down here, guys. We are in race conditions, so I guess we're getting some strategy.
Talking. Yeah. He's good. He's quick, clean race, and we'll have fun.
As you line this one up again, what do you think of turn 1 here at IMS?
It's good. It's fun. It's a good turn. The brake zone's pretty good up there, so we'll see.
Well, good luck to Mitchell Green on this restart. I do love, Andrew, as you were telling the story earlier through text messages coming to you, that he took accountability for yesterday. So drivers pushing through those moments. Tony, I'm sure you've had some of those as well. I'm getting the signal down here that we're about to go back to racing. So Tony, tell us about the mindset when you have to get right back into the race car the next day after a driver mistake.
Actually, I feel like it's one of the best things. You get back to the race car to do all those things again and try to obviously put behind if you have had a mistakes like Mitchell had yesterday in race 1. Mistakes do happen if you don't push to the limit, if you don't try and go for those wins or pole positions. I mean, like I said, mistakes happen, and like here we see now the track marshals. There is actually oil and fluid quite a lot on track. Yeah. So just after turn 7, they need to basically clean most of the track. So this might even take a few more minutes.
Yeah, I think so too, looking at that. That's going to be a fair amount of concrete dust down, isn't it? Oi, oi. Well, there we are. I look inside the cockpit of Fabian Sperman. You can see the fire extinguisher down on the bottom right. The data collectors up on the roll cage as well. The driver's safety nets, which are there in case they have a big off, and that stops your arms from flailing around. You have the side head restraints. If you look on the side of the door here, this is the air intake, and that can help keep the driver cool.
Yeah, there's different options. Some drivers want to have the cool suit, so it means that on your body you have a shirt that the water, the cooler water, circulates, and you feel a little bit more fresh. Some drivers have the idea that we have 30 minutes of racing. I'll handle it. I handle the heat. And again, like many stuff racing related are up to the preference of the driver. He has different, or they have different options to choose from, and then the team will prepare the car on driver's request. Same thing with the AC, same thing we talked yesterday about the traction control. You have different settings on your race car that you really need to give your input to the team, to your engineer, and then they will choose the best options.
Yeah, and the best option right now would definitely be a cool suit, I think, because at this point there's no airflow in the car as their engines are off. So if you were running AC, then yeah, not ideal. They're just sitting down there baking. That's why the foil has come back out from the teams to put it over the windshields and just try and keep the Indiana sun out from the car. There is a bit of a heat wave here at the moment. It's all over the news. It's expected to disappear next week, but too late for a lot of very hot drivers in their Ferraris. A look down the side of pit road. In the background there you can see the big totem with all the different positions on it as well. All the fantastic liveries of our drivers. Let's have a look inside here. What can we see? Not a lot. It's very dark. There we go. There we go. So cameras mounted up high. That's for judicial purposes and sometimes for the drivers to look at what they've done as well. And in fact, we can see on the floor here where it says chill out. That's a chill suit system, isn't it, Tony?
Yeah, that's the cool suit. The two blue tubes that are going to the undershirt, and then the water circulates there. You could spot the radio. It's quite basic system that this way the driver have the communication with their team, with the engineer. Also the safety nets is something that let's say in general the safety has really stepped up again in the last 3 to 5 years. So safety nets on both sides. The The seat mounting is much more stronger than in the past, and just all the details we've seen over the years. Ferrari Challenge car have some high-speed hits, but overall the safety of the car is in a very high level. The roll bar, the roll cage, everything is measured almost to the worst case, and to the forces and the speeds that these cars are reaching. Over 700 horsepower, so these cars are very, very fast.
They certainly are. Not going so fast right now, parked in pit road, but they will be back on the way soon. This is what's happened here at IMS. We had a bit of contact on turn 1, and we have an oil clear-up going on. Looking back at yesterday, Lewis Flory was our winner in Copper Shell Am, and Amanda Busick has gone and found him.
Andrew, there's been 7 different winners in that class this season, and the 7th was this man right here in Lewis Flory. And you think of what he's already done here today. He started P9 yesterday, won the race. He started P9 today, already up in the 4th position. How did you do it?
You know, it's one of those things when the race starts and you have no idea what's going to happen. You just see some gaps, see some opportunities, you go for them, you try to be aggressive without being foolish. Last thing we want to do is hit anybody or have any accidents, but if you see the gap, you gotta have the aggressiveness and believe in yourself and go for it. And then we got through 1 pretty good, picked up I think a couple spots there. The really coolest part was a lot of guys got really jammed up and packed up in 3 going into 4. And I just saw the opportunity to take the outside line in 4, get the run down to 7, and picked up a couple more spots and got us all the way up to 4th, I believe, now.
As we get ready for restart conditions down here, how do you prep for that?
I'm sorry?
How do you prep for the restart?
Oh, well, you know, this is my first restart that I've ever done, so it'll be the exact same thing. It's kind of you build up the nerves all over again and the anticipation. You're looking for the opportunities. Hopefully we get a good restart. Hopefully I do it correctly. And hopefully get some good racing in today.
As the driver holding 2 wins in class so far in your very first season, what do you make of the competition you're seeing this year?
You know, I got to tell you, look at the qualifying today. I thought it was really, really incredible. I qualified P9. There was only 6/10 between me and the guy in P1. So the competition's really, really fantastic. I couldn't ask for a better situation and a better group of guys and ladies to get out here, learn how to race with. They're all giving it their all. Everybody's doing a great job, and they're certainly helped me to bring out the best in myself.
And then one last question. Hopefully I can answer some questions for you, Andrew. Who won the race yesterday, Louis or Lewis?
Lewis Flory won the race yesterday. But Louis is still in the pocket. He's still there. He may be the backup driver.
Awesome. Good luck today.
Yeah, it was the artist formerly known as Louis Flory that won yesterday, now known as Lewis Flory. He could hear us. I know. You're welcome, mate. It was great to have a chat with Lewis yesterday about it. We did have a bit of a joke, as I say, if you watch a weekend. Oi, the closing speed there from Goodwin was absolutely massive when he picked up the back of Luli. I'm gutted for both, but it's particularly a shame for Luli, who had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, the speed difference during the damage seems like he lost the control of the car under braking and then just ran into the back of the other race car, and yeah, big crash. You could see and spot the damage on both cars. And obviously the fact that the damaged car kept circulating on track is now one of the causes that I think we have the red flag. So it takes a lot of effort to clean the fluid and put the track back to a safe position. For the drivers now is quite difficult because obviously you see the material that is laid on the track. It creates like a cloud when all the cars go through it. Often it has a very similar grip, so you don't need to really be more careful or you slow down more, but it's more of your senses. When you see that dust in the air, you think that the track is way more slippery. So I think drivers will take some more risks and others will be a little bit more cautious. So let's see when we get back to racing how long it takes to clean that racing line.
Yeah, sure. The first lap will definitely kick the dust up. It's concrete dust, isn't it? Normally that they use, or in fact there are some proper professional.
Yeah, they call it a
now.
filler, or they call it whatever. That it should clean the liquid on top of the tarmac pavement, and then it should create back the normal grip and avoid drivers sliding on track.
Yeah, it's a super fine dust, and it sort of soaks it up. And then as well, we have the road sweepers out there. So it's good, but you can sweep it as much as you like. When you start driving a load of 296 Ferrari Challenge cars over it, it's definitely going to suck that dust up into the air. Engines are running. We're hearing less than a minute to get the cars back out from pit road. I wonder... okay, we've got another... What's going on down there in pit lane? Oh, I think it's just recovery still. Okay, good stuff. I wonder what was going on at the back there. But yeah, we should get things underway, and then I'm guessing, yeah, it'll be, what do you think, 1 lap or 2 to look round?
It really depends. Again, if the safety car is giving the advice that we go 2 times past that dust, just trying to clean the track a bit, then we might have two laps behind the safety car. So it really depends. What's the call from the
race control?
Race control, yes.
Okay, let's take a look at the race clock. Our timing screens are showing 23 minutes 55, so that would be... yeah,
we lost here a little bit of the time
minutes,
that we anticipated everything.
Yeah.
For the possibility for the storms, and now we lost a little bit of time.
The Pirelli guys won't be happy, will they, Trofeo Pirelli, if there ends up being a thunderstorm during their race because of this. But we're away. We're rolling out over the bricks. Look at those, the famous old bricks. 3.2 million, I think it was, that were laid around the track originally. And they did it quickly as well. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever had contractors come around to your houses, but they put 3.2 million bricks in a lot more quickly than a modern-day contractor gets that done. Now, I've got nothing against bricklayers, but wow, that was a lot of bricks done very quickly indeed. What a great shot, just that single yard of bricks there. Fantastic. The drivers all got to kiss the bricks yesterday too, as a part of their celebration here at IMS. Right, that's everybody out from pit road, and now it just remains to be seen how long the safety car will circulate for. If I were a betting man, I'd say 2 laps, just because I think to take a look, to figure out the grip levels, to blow some of the dust away, and to get tyres up to temperature, I just think you have less risk of another incident in turn 1 with 2 laps, Tony, than you do with 1.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably better for the drivers to give them the chance to clean the racing line a bit and also learn their level of grip. Also tire-wise, yesterday we had the full 30 minutes of racing, so you could see and feel the real degradation on tires. Now the race is a bit more shortened, plus the tire temperatures and pressures went down again, so you will have better tire life towards the end of the race. So this safety car here in the middle, it created this situation.
Now we're hearing 1 lap for the safety car, which of course is the lights are out on the safety car and they're good to go. Here is the dusty section. Traction will be different in there, I think, than it was before. That is a lot of the clear up dust down. So okay, well, remains to be seen on this next one. Of course, the incident was in turn 7 that you're looking at now. The dust is through 8, 9, 10. I think it went through 11 as well. I mean, in theory, he drove back to the pit, so it could be through 12 and 13. Here it is on the inside. So off the racing line at least there. Where's that, Tony? The run into 11? Yeah, it is. And then is it through 12? Nah, I reckon he may have come across the apron on the inside.
Yeah, this is a little bit similar situation to the moments when the track is getting wet or you're racing on wet, where you need to really recognize the track quickly. So between 7 and 12 is the trickiest part.
So watch the top of your screen. It says full course yellow. That disappears. We're in green flag racing conditions as we head down towards turn 1. Good restart from Jan Bernier. Not sure where Mitchell Green is behind him. He's a little way back. Gary Ott looks to the inside here. Is he going to go late on the brakes? Hoping for no contact up there. He is inside. He was just about seen in time, but that was close. So everybody through safely. Bernier leads from green, and then it's Carol Orsini and Gary Ott. Whittle behind, Osvaldo Gallo behind that. Obviously the order in which they started after we had the safety car. Now's the interesting bit when we come down here and we see what the grip levels are like. Tony, what are you doing as a driver here as you're coming into this?
Yeah, there's 2 options. Like you try to avoid the dust. We see Gary Ott again into turn 7, trying to overtake. So you either go to the normal racing line and pick up the dust, feel the grip, or you try to avoid it again. But let's see, most of the drivers just staying on a normal racing line, and doesn't really matter if there is the cleaner, the filler from the oil, so the grip is there.
It looks good, doesn't it? To be fair, great job on the track clean-up team, and I think with the first few cars safely through there, you'd have seen a sideways moment if it was going to be really tricky conditions. Fabian Sperman lead from Gabe Cribb in Cobbleshell Am. You can see they're down in P12 and 13 overall. And everybody coming through very settled on this opening lap. So Bernier leads from Mitchell Green. The gap as they come over the line this time round is 0.9. It's 0.5 at the rolling restart. So Bernier's got another 4/10ths out, but Mitchell will be looking to find his way. Gary Ott looking up the inside now of Orsini. This time easily gets it done. It's a double pass, but he goes over the curbs and onto the grass. So Gary Ott now going to have to find his way back on and not take anybody else out. Where is he? He's managed to get back in, but he loses a place. Whittle goes through. Osvaldo Gaio's gone through as well. So that's not ideal for Gary Ott. Now he's really got a fight on his hands. He's got to come back like he did yesterday, but with a few more cars to pass.
Yeah, Gary Ott didn't have the right patience. He wanted to outbrake the other driver into one, but then misjudged the distance, and Roy Carroll did a very good job avoiding Gary Ott.
Chuck Whittle up the inside there. Nice pass by him. He managed to get past Roy Carroll, so Carroll going backwards at this point. Ott, as you can see, has dropped down, 1, 2, 3, 4 places. I think Ott has dropped down behind. So a good move by Chuck Whittle there, nice up into turn 7. Out towards the outside of the banking, the lead two are starting to break away a little bit from the P3 man, and then mistake from Whittle. Whittle runs wide, gets a lot of understeer. He's going to lose a position on the exit here of turn 12. They're right in behind him, and he's a little bit sideways on the exit there as well. So panic mode comes in, you make one mistake, and then you keep doing a few more.
Yeah, it looked even more like he ran into that area where there was oil, where there was something before, and only understeered off the racing line, and almost opening a chance to Roy Carroll to overtake.
So I wonder what Gary Ott's going to do now, because we've seen he's good on the brakes. We've seen him make those attempts. There is a pass from, who is that? Gaio, I think, has got past Roy Carroll up in turn 1. So yeah, he slid up the inside. Nicely done. I thought it was, for a moment there, I thought it was Mitchell Green. Look at the livery, it's pretty similar, isn't it, with the stripes down the centre of the hood. And now Gary Ott is within striking distance as well. So Gary Ott looking for a way past, pulls out from the slipstream. On in front, almost a bit of defensive driving. Ott thinks better of it. I wonder, after you've had that one little issue, you're going to be a little worried about it. He's trying to find a way past Carroll, sticks his nose to the inside again. This is good. This is like yesterday. Good, clean racing.
Yeah, hard racing, few mistakes, especially from Gary Ott, that misjudgment into turn 1 where he ended up losing more places, but luckily there was no contact and everybody's still on track.
I thought he was going to get the double pass, Tony. I was being optimistic, as was Gary, and thinking that I think he went for one, didn't he, and then got the second one and thought, okay, maybe this is maybe I'm in for a ride over the curbs, which he was. Ott looks quicker to me than Carroll in front of him. He should get a good exit here. He does indeed. He goes high to the wall. That is as close as you want to get there. Gary Ott goes very high on the exit, slots in behind, comes down over the line. Can he get past Carroll this time? He pulls out from the slipstream, but again, he thinks better of it. I think the confidence has gone from the early issue.
Yeah, he had a little moment coming out of 14, so being so close on Roy Carroll's car, he had the understeer, and already mid to exit of turn 14, just a wider and wider line, and ended up almost touching the wall outside.
Got away with it that time, and will, I'm sure, think better of it this time. Will you have another look on the braking zone as you see Jan Bernier and Mitchell Green. Mitchell Green's got the fastest lap of the race, and there was only a second between them when they crossed the start-finish line. I would argue less than a second now later on in the lap, so Green looks to have made up some time on Bernier. You're on board with Mitchell Green now.
Yeah, this is great images coming out from turn 10, turn 11, full throttle. You go partially back to the banking. There's a little bit of elevation change, and just before you hit the brakes, you are down to the flat spot again.
Petramalo spun, sorry, Tony. That looks like it's turn 7, maybe, end of the straight, end of the back straight.
Yeah, turn 7. Another contact turn.
Oh no,
turn
who's that?
12.
That's Bilacek. Bilacek in the grey and yellow, and in the white and blue, not sure. Waltersdorf maybe, yeah, I think Waltersdorf in the 111. So Bilacek gets the car going. This is Waltersdorf. Doesn't look like it was significant contact, so at least hopefully not damage on the cars.
Yeah, if yesterday we were running clean, today we see some more contacts. I mean, the drivers saw the F1 movie yesterday, so
Yeah,
maybe there is more Hollywood today, I don't know.
They felt they needed some more drama. Yeah, they went and watched last night, didn't they? Race director was saying to them, this is not the one. Did you watch the Grand Prix? I didn't see who won. No
Yeah.
spoilers, no spoilers.
Yeah, I watched it in the beginning, but I didn't see the whole race.
No, I saw the start as well. It was a fantastic battle on lap one, wasn't it, between Hamilton and George Russell. And if you were in Casa Ferrari this morning, they were side by side for about 5 or 6 turns when Hamilton eventually got in front. Everyone, way! So it was good to see that Ferrari spirit, wasn't it? Forza Ferrari. Up the inside, or is it round the outside? I think it's Gary Ott trying to find a way past still, isn't it?
Yeah, Osvaldo Gallo is in front of him.
So has he dispatched Carroll then, or has Carroll got past Gallo?
Carroll has passed Gallo.
Yeah, so Carroll's managed to get through. So did Gallo make a mistake maybe while we were looking at the incident further down the order? Because Gallo's gone up a position. So now Gary Ott's got somebody new to try and stick a pass on. Because we're about halfway race distance now. If you missed the start, we had a full course of yellow. Ott looking racy as he did yesterday, but yet to make the progress that he wants to. Let's take a look at the replays. Petra Marlow coming into hot.
Yeah, he just lost the control under braking. The right-hand side wheels were on the grass, so that's why he lost. Oh, and this was the contact.
That's tricky for me because Belichick was 75% up the inside. Maybe
Yeah,
it needs
but
to
a
be.
little bit late move. I would
Was
say,
it? Yeah, there you go. You're the expert, Tony. It's yeah.
Yeah, that was turn 12. That's a very tricky place to overtake. If there is no space for the other driver, often you see contacts here.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're not expecting it to, if it's an unusual place, you're maybe not looking in the same way. But yeah, if it was a late move, then that's the unfortunate consequences. Still 4 drivers out there doing their quickest lap at the moment, so there is still some pace in the tyres. Ed Vartugin with the little purple stopwatch next to him is the quickest lap in Coppershell Am, but it's Fabian Sperman who leads from Gabe Grimm, as you can see, by half a second. And is that Belichick? Yes, it is. Belichick's on a go slow down the outside of the straight on the run to turn 7. Steve Czech in the background in the gold and black, I think it is. Close between these two, isn't it? Sperman and Hrib. Hrib now coming under pressure as well from yesterday's winner, Lewis Flory. A shout out for Lewis Flory because, again, yesterday qualified in 9th and ended up winning. And today, if I remember correctly, the qualifying was pretty similar. If on the grid. Yeah, Flory was back on the 5th row of Coppershell Am. So he was down in 10th and he's already up to P3. So Lewis Flory is racing really well. The alter ego comes out here and there. Great progress. He's got to try and find a way past Gabe Flory. The gap between them is just 0.6 of a second. You can see it on track here. So Lewis Flory is the 183, the white and blue car. In front of him, super close together, Fabian Sperman leading. Look at Flory, up 6 places. Vartugin with the fastest lap down 4, so obviously had a great lap at some point, but hasn't gone his way since. So Lewis Flory is absolutely making hay here. Everybody streams through onto the back straight. Anybody can have a look at the end of the straight here. Slightly defensive lines from a couple of people, but nobody making any significant moves here. The dust is all clear now. You can see that's where it was on the racing line through 8, 9 and 10. And it's pretty much been blown away by the circulation of many 296 Challenge cars. Status quo at the moment, it seems, in Coppershell Am. Right on board with Steve Czech now. Czech is in P6 in that group. Rolls back onto the throttle, then hear him lift. You'll hear the wastegate dump in smoothly over the curve on the gas, let it run out and use the track. Then this is the bit where we've seen some different lines. You come through here, there's a slight roll off the throttle mid-corner there. Maybe you take that flat if you were feeling a bit more confident.
It's a difficult corner because you just need to measure yourself with the understeer and where you're going to end up when you are back on the main straight. And
in the background, almost a takeout there. I think it was Lewis Flory that almost got picked up from behind. Steve Czech had a spin, but it wasn't Czech that ran deep, was it? Somebody else ran deep in the background, maybe pulled into that braking zone. So who was checked behind? Could it have maybe been Owens who went deep at the end of the straight? Not sure.
Yeah, definitely a lot of action in today's race. We had several contacts already. We had the red flag. So a lot more action today in this Copa Shell race.
Yeah, they're properly going for it out there right now, aren't they? So Lewis Flory is closer this time round. Melissa Kozira is there in P4 as well. Kozira 1:08 has had the one podium in the second race at Miami. This was her best qualifying. I think she qualified 4th yesterday and 3rd today, so she's really going well in qualifying now, which is a great sign. I say she was unlucky at the start of yesterday's race, got damaged. Didn't see whether it was her fault or somebody else's, but she took damage and was unable to complete the race distance. So it is tight between these lot. Lewis Flory losing a little bit of time through the exit of the left-hander there, it seems. Pribb and Sperman locked in a battle, and Flory will be looking to make something of that if they get together. So fastest at Mitchell Green, that's a point to him. Of course, the pole went to Bernier, I think, didn't it, today? So that's a point to him. So that keeps the gap at 15 as it was yesterday. The fastest lap is 1 point, and I say the pole position is 1, and then championship points for where you finish the race, of course. So Green would like to be in front of Bernier, but also doesn't want to make any silly mistakes.
Yeah, but Jan Bernier, like yesterday, he's the Mr. Consistent. He doesn't seem to make any mistakes. Again, he has, for the whole race distance, a lot of pressure from behind. Yesterday, it was Gary Ott behind him, but today is the championship rival Mitchell Green, and just no mistakes. Mitchell is there, close, less than a second, but he just cannot find a way.
Lewis Flory is now all over the back of Gabe Pribb. Flory trying to find a way through. He's tucked up underneath the rear wing of Pribb in front. I thought Sperman leading. The front right corner of his splitter looks lower than the other side, but we haven't seen anything untoward, obviously, happen to him that we've seen, obviously, unless he's... Oh, someone's had a big spin somewhere. You can hear the screech of Pirelli's in the background. Somebody has gone off. There it is. Oh, that's not a good place to be sitting. Don't pull out from there. Is it the one? Is that the 193? Is Osvaldo Gallo? It's Gallo. So Gallo's dropped down the order and gets away. Luckily, everybody avoids him. So a spin onto the main straight.
Yeah, that's a scary place. Other cars closing at high speed, and you basically don't have a chance to do a correction on your speed or your...
Oh, that's our leaders as well. That's contact there between Fabian Sperman and Gabe Pribb. Sperman continues to lead, but Pribb was fully alongside. Lewis Flory has dropped off the back of these two just by a few metres, and we'll surely now see these two getting into each other and think, come on lads, carry on, I'll have a double win, thanks very much. So they mean business.
7 minutes to go and things are heating up on this race.
He's having another look. So Gabe Pribb is looking up the inside again. Lewis Flory is an interested spectator, while in the background we've got a pass going on as well, or an attempted pass anyway. I think that, who was that? Was it Kozira trying to make the pass?
Might have been the other car, might have been Osvaldo Gallo who spun earlier.
I think you're right, it is Gallo. Yes, so it's Gallo with Kozira behind. So Kozira was trying to get past Gallo. The ladder only updates when they cross over the start-finish line, so we're just trying to figure out where they are after the incident. Oh, Lewis Flory must be rubbing his hands together at these two going at it in front of him. But yeah, do you wait for them to get into each other, or do you try and make the moves?
It really depends. If you see two drivers in front of you that are really hot, you can see that the tension is very high. Sometimes it's better to just have the patience, wait what happens in front of you, and then towards the end of the race make your own move. But also, if you have a lot of pace and you have a chance to overtake, a lot of movement, under braking into one, that's a zone where you arrive very fast speed and a lot of brake pressure. You need to go down with the gears, and like you saw, the cars are moving from left to right.
Yeah, Flory was loose in the braking zone and couldn't capitalise on what was going on in front. Pribb wasn't serious about the pass there. What he's doing is he's putting the car in the mirrors, and you're trying to make the driver in front drive on those mirrors, spend more time looking in the mirrors than you are. Again, look, he's not serious about passing from that far back. You just keep going higher, I'm still here, and it just unnerves you, doesn't it, if you're in front? Or you ignore it if you've got a lot of experience.
Keep showing that I'm here and I'm ready to take and make the move if there is a chance to do it.
The only thing is, of course, if you compromise your entry too much, you need to get back onto your correct racing line before you turn in, so you don't compromise your exit speed. There are 5 minutes left here of this copper shell race. Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We started with a half lap before we had a full course yellow and a big clean up with a red flag. And since then we've managed to get away with it. Look at this little slow-mo over the back section here. That's Sperman, followed by Rib right behind, super close in between. And they're still close now as they come over the start finish line. The gap out front between Mitchell Green and Jan Bernier is less than a second. So Green is still there with Bernier. Is he just going to do a sensible one and follow him to the finish line? Here they are, Jan Bernier and Mitchell Green. Now, I think this might be just a little bit of pressure at the end of the race.
Yeah, it looks less than a second right now.
Yeah. Kevin Orsini's done well as well, not that far back really, and then Chuck Whittle and Carroll are still close together. Who's made the most places up? 4 drivers have made up 2 places. Look, Evans, Clark, Naranjo and Waltersdorf. Osvaldo Gallo lost the most places, but we saw that with the spin onto the front straight. This is Chuck Whittle with Roy Carroll in behind. Carroll is close here, and Gary Ott has just dropped off the back of these two. If you remember, Ott was looking for a way past earlier on in the race. On up the inside. Carroll looks to the inside, almost into the back of Whittle. Gets away with it this time. Gary Ott will see that and know that potentially going to hold each other up as they come through onto the front straightaway here. I love the livery on Whittle's car. I know I always say it, but it just looks amazing, especially in the sunshine. Over past here on our flip-flop camera on the wall. The noise is just brilliant when you're that close to the action. Shout out to the branding team as well. The braking zone, the back of the braking zone boards is even coloured with Ferrari. I mean, that's great. I love the detail, but I think that's what these events are all about, is the detail.
Yeah, Ferrari is putting a great show. They are providing great conditions to these drivers to race, to have fun, to improve, and this is a platform of racing that works worldwide. We have similar championships basically around the world, and then we have the final event of the year, which are the Ferrari finals, where different championships meet together for the final race of the season.
So we've got traffic in front here of your leaders, Sperman and Hrib, so they've got to try and find a way past these two without getting held up. Meanwhile, Whittle is continuing to be just in front. Carroll and Ott behind. Ott is now looking a bit racier as he starts to chuck the car around again like he was yesterday. So Gary Ott sniffing a couple of positions here if he can get them. Ott looks like he's getting a good exit here onto the straight. He was very purposeful through the previous corners, 12 and 13. But he's not quite close enough to pick up the toe this time.
Yeah, at this stage of the race, it's difficult to follow another car closely through turn 14. The high-speed nature of the corner, and if you don't have the clear air in front of the race cars, the front tires, the front just washes away. And if you need to lift the throttle a little bit, then you lose the momentum going to the main straight.
Lewis Flory in the background has got Osvaldo Gallo right with him. Then one car back from that, Melissa Kozira in the blue. Then I think it's Owens. Another look. Sperman goes defensive this time. That might be what Gabe Hrib is looking for, to then try and get a better exit. And he certainly helped Lewis Flory, who is now onto the back of this train of cars again. So Lewis Flory is right there. It'll be frustrating for our driver who's dropped down the order, Gallo. He'll want to get through, but of course this lot are stuck in a battle for the podium. They're not going to be keen to let him past, are they?
Yeah, everybody's fighting for their position. And like yesterday, we saw towards the end of the race, we are forming these many cars together because of the grip level going down and the lap times are becoming similar. So I think, again, we haven't seen everything with this group of drivers.
We've got 1 minute left to go, which should mean that the white flag is out. It is indeed on the start-finish straight as Jan Bernier comes through. The gap was 0.8. I think it's gone up. It's up to 0.9. So Bernier has taken a tenth of a second off Mitchell Green. I think Mitchell Green will follow him back from there. They're on their last lap, so just one more circulation of this incredible venue for them.
Yeah, and this is the moment when teams and the driver coaches are on the radio saying, last lap, make your move if you have a chance to do it. And white flag is out, so let's see.
Oh, some people running perilously close to the wall at the outside of IMS here. Whittle still under pressure from Carroll. Carroll swerves out to the outside, shows himself in the mirrors again. Gary Ott is right there. Ott taking the line. He took over the curbs yesterday, which is all of the curb under both of the wheels. Gary Ott moves to the inside line. Carroll goes defensive. Ott, though, is determined here on the brakes. He's coming in late and he's coming in hot. Whittle manages to get into the apex before they turn up on the inside line, and Ott thinks better of it and stays just behind Carroll.
Yeah, beautiful braking maneuver from Carroll, defending his place and not giving a chance to Gary Ott to overtake.
Well, Jan Bernier is out front. He must be coming through the final couple of corners about now. The checker flag is surely ready on the car. No, Whittle goes round. Carroll hits Whittle, and Gary Ott takes advantage immediately. Oh, the steering's broken for. In the background, Bernier comes through. He takes his 4th win of the year. It's an 8th podium. He has not been off the podium once, and 50% of the time he's been on the top step. What a brilliant season for Jan Bernier, followed over by Mitchell Green and Kevin Orsini. We were distracted by the contact between Whittle and Carroll. I think Whittle's steering was broken. One of the two cars was stranded at the side of the road. So that's a disaster for them. Fabian Sperman coming through. How close are they together as they come on the line? Sperman's got just a bit of breathing space. So Fabian Sperman in the blue, red and white car in the middle of your screen comes around onto the start-finish line. And Fabian Sperman will cross the line to take victory here in Comerchelam from Gabe Ribb, and Lewis Flory gets P3, having won yesterday. We've got another off, have we? Yes, we have. That's a lot of damage down the side of the 148 machine. 148 is, let me look down at my notes, it's Gomez. So Gomez has binned the side of the car there heavily into something solid. Is it the tyre wall on the other side of the road? But 184, so a lot, as per yesterday, a lot going on towards the end of this race, and a little bit of clearing up to do, I would suggest, before we can go racing with Trofeo Pirelli. But Fabian Sperman in the 184 with a 2nd victory this year. Got pole in the win in Daytona, and a good job here as well. But for this man, Jan Bernier, absolutely brilliant. A podium at every single race and 4 wins out of the last 5 races. He's really coming on strong. That level of consistency to podium at every round is enough, but to win half of them as well is brilliant, Tony.
Yeah, he has the consistency, and very impressive how he holds his head together when there's pressure from behind. On both races, 30 minutes yesterday and a similar race today, he had another driver, another car following him in less than a second the whole race distance, and he didn't do a single mistake. Unfortunately, on last lap, the fight for P4 and Roy Carroll misjudged the braking into 12. He was looking for that chance if there is a space inside to go for that overtaking maneuver, and then we saw the contact and also the yellow flag. Not allowing the drivers behind fight for that corner anymore. Obviously, under yellow flag,
of course, yeah,
you are not allowed to overtake. So,
and that's pretty much the last opportunity, isn't it, on that lap?
Exactly.
So through to Parc Fermé, underneath the podium here for our winners, Jan Bernier in Coppershell and Fabian Sperman in Coppershell-Am. Rest of the cars coming back now. There's Lewis Flory, who'll be happy, I'm sure, with a double podium this week. This weekend, indeed. 2 podiums in 2 days. That's a decent result, both from further down the grid. A tap on the side of the car with, I don't think there's a mark on it, is there? Mitchell Green pulls in as well. I think Green, while he would have liked the win, I'm sure he'd be happy with P2 after yesterday. It solidifies his position. He won't lose many points compared to Jan Bernier. Yes, win number 4 for Jan Bernier. Podium number 8. He's the only driver in any of the categories here who's been on the podium at every single race this year. And a 50% win rate is impressive too. In the background, yes. You may hear the occasional interesting word from our drivers as they come in somewhat excited and forget that you are never alone with a microphone, which is a saying to live by if you work in television, let me assure you. Fabian Sperman is rolling back into that area as well. Woo! Amanda Busick, as you can see, is down there with Jan Bernier, and Bernier just all smiles. Let's get down to Amanda. She's with Jan Bernier and his amazing laurel wreath.
Yeah, Jan, I don't know if you've heard this yet, but Mitchell Green keeps yelling across and calls you the Rocket Man, and that is exactly what this season seems to look like for you. For the 4th time this year, you will stand on the top step of that podium. But in your tenure, 2 wins in a race weekend plus a pole, where will this one rank for you?
This has got to be at the top. I mean, that's a very nice compliment from Mitchell. He is also very rocket-like sometimes as well. You know, being in front is it's the best place to be if you can keep it clean. He puts the pressure on everybody else, and you know, this is kind of a dream weekend as well. And my family's all watching from over in Montenegro right now, and I'm sure they're jumping up and down, screaming. So, pretty special, dedicated to them. Thank you for letting me go racing.
When you talk about your resume as a Ferrari Challenge driver and just your evolution as a driver, how are you racing now, Jan?
You know, I'm racing pretty smart these days, and I think I'm getting the car to the limit. I think, a little more cautious the first few years, but now I'm sort of pushing the car, and I'm ahead of the car. You know, the feel of the car, I know what it's going to do before it does it, so I'm ready. That's the big evolution over, even from last year to this year. That's the change.
Congratulations to Jan Bernier. As you said, Andrew, a podium at every race this season.
Very impressive performance indeed, and as he said, he's racing smart, and he certainly is. You don't get those results if you're not. Jan Bernier, 8 podiums, 4 wins, and one of those is this weekend. 2, in fact, this weekend, double win here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Mitchell Green and Kevin Orsini complete the podium. Gary Ott gets 4th after contact between Roy Carroll and who was it that retired on the last lap? Come on, Andrew, my memory fails me. Waltersdorf, Naranjo, Lisa Clark, Sperman and Hrib. Then you got Gaio, Flory, Owens, Kazira, Corley, Czech, Evans, Hummel, Vartugian, and it was Chuck Whittle. It was. Thank you. Chuck Whittle gets P20, but a lap down because he didn't cross the line. That's unlucky for Chuck, really, on that one. And it remains to be seen, of course, if race control might have a little look at that and make a decision. There we go. Here's a lovely slow-mo of Jan Bernier, who says he's ahead of the car, and I think that's fair.
Those are wise words. You need to feel the race car to be able to go fast and to do good solid season with no mistakes. If you try to push too much, trying to get too fast lap times, sooner or later you do a mistake. So very impressive drive from Jan Bernier and important championship points. Others keep making mistakes and he's Mr. Consistency.
Yeah, like a metronome, just keeps getting it done. You are looking there at the winner's car from Coppershell Am. And that is Fabian Sperman,
who has just given nice compliments to Gabe Reeve on pushing him here today. How hard did he make you work for that one, Fabian?
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. This guy made me a hard time the whole race. I started good, then there was a red flag. We restart, and it was a fight the whole race. I was not able to pass the shell guy at front, but I was enough to fight for my position. It was a great race. It was a great race.
Congratulations to Fabian. I think you can see the guys in the background as well. Gabe, who will finish in a runner-up position, and as you say, Louis Flory on the podium from 9th position.
Thank you very much, Amanda Busick, down in Parc Ferme there, the winners area underneath the podium. Fabian Sperman with a brilliant result there, up over the curbs on the far side. Yeah, he does have a tiny bit of damage on the splitter, look on the one side, but no problems in terms of his results. You can see we've got the cars already in pit road for Trofeo Pirelli, which will start fairly soon after we wrap up this show. So we're going to get ourselves off air for a very quick break. Stick around if you're watching online, and obviously if you're here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, take a break for 5, and we'll be back with Trofeo Pirelli and Trofeo Pirelli Am. Welcome back to Indianapolis Motor Speedway as we get ourselves ready for the final race of this weekend number 4 of Ferrari Challenge North America. This is Trofeo Pirelli and Trofeo Pirelli are rolling out for their reconnaissance laps. They'll take a quick look around this circuit and then we'll get them released off into turn 1 for what will hopefully be an encounter like we had yesterday. Some brilliant racing. We started the season at Sonoma Raceway back in the spring, then Daytona International Speedway in Miami, Autodrome just a few weeks apart in Florida, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. After a short break, we're here this weekend, then up to Watkins Glen International in about a month's time, and then a bit of a longer break before we head to the legendary Laguna Seca with the incredible corkscrew corner section, which I'm definitely going to go and have a stand at some point during the weekend. Over the pond then, for those who want to attend the Finale Mondiale, Ferrari's incredible event at Mugello in October 21st to the 26th. A long one there because they've got the various different championships to finish as well as the World Finals. We are in Indianapolis, the racing capital of the world. You know what? This place is just so famous for the Indy 500. I don't even think it needs a strap line. What an incredible place. Here's the track outline. We're running the opposite direction to what they do at the Indy 500. And, of course, we're using the infield. IndyCar does, in fact, race here using the infield as well. But, of course, for the 500, it's only the legendary 4 banked corners which make up this unique venue. We'll run onto a couple of those at turn 11 and turn 14. Of course, we dip off the banking down at turn 1. Let's take a look at the weather. We're racing around an hour ahead of schedule because it's pretty muggy here. It's 35 Celsius on the track, 27 in the air, 77% humidity, and there was a serious risk of storms with lightning. So we brought the racing slightly forward. My name's Andrew Coley. Alongside me in the booth is Tony Villander. Tony, thing is, we'll only know if it was a good decision to bring the racing forward later on today, but I don't mind. As long as the racing's good, I don't mind when it is.
Yeah, a special call from the race director to move the schedule a bit ahead. But I think it was a good call in case we would get later on thunder and then postpone delay. We would have a huge mess with the schedule, flying back home, everything related to the logistics after the race. Interesting in Pirelli, Massimo Perina, our pole sitter, had a perfect day yesterday. Fastest lap, race win with the dominant performance. So let's see if the other drivers have anything to fight against him, or is it another show from Massimo Perina?
Yeah, I think Dylan Medler in particular will be keen to show that he can match his pace, won't he? Because Perina is putting in the kind of performances which make you think it's not going to be a fight, and we want to see a fight between them.
Yeah,
Medler's been unlucky too.
Yeah, we've seen some great fights and very tense opening laps during the season, but as the season has moved forward, I think Massimo's performance has just improved compared to the others. So very interesting to follow. Obviously today, but also in the coming events, how is the pace against Perina compared to the other drivers?
You were on board with this man, Ophir Levy, who yesterday fought his way up through the field and then got caught in a load of carnage at literally the last corner of the race, coming out of turn 13 into 14, and he got caught up in that. He got tagged, didn't he, and turned around, and that then meant that he didn't get the result he deserved for the hard work he put in during the previous laps. But I'm sure he'd be keen to make amends today. And glad we got an onboard with him. I feel like we picked the onboards based on who yesterday was moving the most up through the field. So he'll come around and then we'll get those cars formed up down in pit road and good to go behind the safety car. Down there off the top of the banking and into turn 12. There he is in the background. Easy livery to spot. Do love an easy livery to spot, not gonna lie. Makes my job a lot easier. Back into pit road. Championship fight at the front, as we say, is between these three. So this is Johnny Kaminsky, 16 years old. Freaky fast is written on the side of the car. This is Dylan Medler, last year's champion. And of course he is alongside out front Massimo Perina. On goes the sun protectors. And just last minute checks tyre pressures. Perina comes in, look, Roberto Perina, his uncle, just behind. Yesterday, if I remember correctly, Perina was on the inside, wasn't he? So it was the two Perinas behind each other. So Kaminsky being on the inside should give him the opportunity to maybe be P3. And Kaminsky was pretty close on lap time during qualifying as well.
Yeah, the fight between, let's say, the top 4 drivers is so close that every detail counts. Start is one of them, and being one of the key moments, key factors to this race. And yesterday, championship-wise, 2 Perinas ahead of Medler, so I think Massimo Perina was especially happy about the fact that Roberto was in P2, so stealing those points from the other competitors. So starting from P3, for sure it opens a good chance even to be in the second place after the start or after the first 2-3 corners. So inside into one is a better place to be.
And we've just seen Tony Davis pull up bottom left of your screen, and Tony didn't put in any laps during qualifying, so either he was otherwise engaged this morning, or maybe they had some issues with the car which they were having to solve before they could get out there. But he is in this one. Amanda Busick is down in pit road ahead of our final race here at IMS.
Hey, Andrew, yeah, I have just the update on Tony Davis. He elected not to qualify and keep those sticker Pirellis for the race. Could be part of the strategy here at IMS, as we know that tire deg has been quite of a monster out there this weekend, especially Massimo Perina talking about that with his tires. But the battle, as you said, in these front 2 rows, these guys were within almost 0.2 of a second in qualifying. So I think we'll have a bit of a battle on our hands, and it is that time to get race number 2 started in Trofeo Pirelli. Drivers, start your Ferrari engines.
Here we go then. Final moments on the grid. There is the microphone as one of the last engines to get started is our pole sitter Massimo Perina. Having a brilliant season so far, and really keen to see what happens here, whether Medler can fight back and whether Kaminski can get stuck in. Kaminski, as threatened, was in the lead, wasn't he, in Daytona when he had that puncture, and could potentially have been the youngest ever winner in Ferrari Challenge. I know he'd love to take a win. Doesn't look quite so in the mix here as he did at some of the previous tracks, but that's to take nothing away. It's also a great championship run for somebody who's in their first year and that young. It's just a sensible approach. You can't help thinking he's going to be absolutely killer as he gets older. If he's making, I'd put it this way, I was not making decisions like he makes age 16. You know, he's doing brilliantly, isn't he?
Yeah, and also part of the learning curve he has during the season is you have the events where you have more speed, and then the events where you need to work for it a bit more. And like you mentioned, me at the age of 16, for sure I wasn't driving 700 horsepower Ferrari, so he's doing a perfect job getting that experience, having those drivers ahead of him who have the speed, who has the experience, so he has a perfect surrounding ahead of him to get all that experience. And when the moment is right, the final details will come together, and I think Johnny Kaminski will be a big title contender in the future. So
do I.
He's doing really well.
He's doing brilliantly. What can he do today from the inside of row 2? Is you're on board.
Interesting update on Tony Davis's tires. There's a little bit 2 ways to approach this. Sometimes you do mention that in qualifying, when you have 1 heat cycle on those tires and when the tires cool down before the race, the durability, the consistency of the tires is a little bit better. Now Tony Davis, if he's starting with new tires, how does the pressures stay under control? You have the brand new sticker set, so it's a lot different compared to the other drivers. It might be that in the opening laps he has more pace than normally, but then it's really to see in the end of the race if he has something more, or did the pressures go a little bit over the roof, or the tires behaving differently. But for sure he has a different approach to this race. A little bit surprising, but one more card to unfold and to see if this brings some more performance.
Indeed. Let's wait and see. Up at the sharp end, it's Perina and Medler on row 1, then row 1, and then Johnny Kaminski and Roberto Perina on row 2. Row 3, Dave Musial Jr., Ethan McWilliams on row 4. Jason McCarthy and Gray Falvera. Row 5 is the man we've been talking about, Tony Davis, with Jay Logan alongside the pole sitter for Trofeo Pirelli, and Ray Acosta, who was so good yesterday. Esteban Beckman, yesterday's pole sitter, who made a mistake, unfortunately. Brad Falvera, who had an incredible run yesterday, along with Dave Musial. Falvera taking his 5th win of the year. Matthew DL and Christopher Cagnazzi are on row number 8. Row 9, Burrows and Marston. Row number 10, John Horsch and Sebastian Mascaro. Mascaro will want to make some serious moves from there. Gerda Svensson and Gregory Hopkins. Row 12, Ophir Levy, Dan Magnazuski. Levy with some work to do from back there, and then McWilliams at the back of the field. So will the gamble pay off for Davis with the tyres? As you heard from Tony Villander, expert analysis on heat cycles on tyres. Is it a gamble that will work out or not? We'll find out in the coming laps if he can start carving his way through those in front of him. Meanwhile, Massimo Prina on the right-hand side of the front row as you look at it now, with the left-hand side when we go to the front shot, has got to control when they head off. Davis jerks out to the side trying to find a way through. He can't pass until he crosses the line. He waits, has to get off the throttle and back on it. So Davis might lose out there on the run to the first corner. Or looking up the inside line for a late dive. Kaminski's coming under pressure here on the inside, but still holds on. He drops a position back. Perina's gone round the outside, and it's Massimo Perina from Roberto Perina, Dylan Medler and Kaminski. Exactly the same order we had yesterday, and that's how they finished yesterday. Musial runs out over the grass on the outside of the track, but holds on. That's Ray Acosta with a move up the inside, or certainly hanging on, but now runs wide. Esteban manages to get alongside. Acosta has to take avoiding action, just jinks the steering off to the left. Carnage avoided on the first lap among the Trofeo Pirelli regulars. In the background there is some serious overtaking going on, or attempts at it at least. And again, it looks like a nice clean pass side by side as they come out the exit of turn 7, and still side by side as we go through 8, where the oil spillage was earlier on today. So it's a better start for Esteban Beckman in the number 8 car as well. Yesterday dropped it, didn't he, on the opening lap, and he's in amongst it. So now today we get to see how he races.
Yeah, aggressive fight between Ray Acosta and Beckman. Ray had to back off going into the SS. Also intense start, intense opening lap from everybody, no major contacts, and Tony Davis really timed wrong the acceleration to the main straight, and he lost a lot of places even compared to the Pirelli drivers.
Yeah, he did, unfortunately. You're not allowed to pass, are you, until you get over the start-finish line. You must maintain position. If he'd have stayed on the gas, he was going to lose out, so he ended up dropping back. Perina, Medler, Kaminski, foul from McWilliams, Musial Jr. and McCarthy. And yeah, Davis is down in P14 with 5 of the Pirelli Am cars in front of him. Oh, and a jink there to the left-hand side. I think that was Beckman, it was. So Esteban Beckman just avoiding contact there with Ray Acosta, and I think that's put Acosta into the lead of the category. No. Beckman is in the lead, so he must have been avoiding the McCarthy in front of him then on the brake, so he's held on. He has held on to the position. He couldn't be closer either to the blocks on the inside of the chicane there. So this is good stuff from Esteban Beckman. So yesterday he would have been gutted to make a mistake early on in the race. Look, he's just managing to gap a little bit on Acosta behind. Jay Logan, the pole sitter, dropped down into P3 off the start. There was a lot going on that first lap. And Mascaro's up to P6 already. So Sebastian Mascaro's done a great job to get up into P6. He was there yesterday on the final lap and ended up P2. So watch for Mascaro in the black and gold car. Back of your picture now. So that's Sebastian Mascaro, and he will try and make some passes. Behind him is Burrows, who was in the fight for yesterday's win. And Levy, look, up into P8 from the back of the grid.
Yeah, we talked with Ray Acosta about yesterday's race that he should have been a little bit more aggressive. And again, today he has the chance to take the lead, even to fight for the win. He just needs to make an aggressive move on Beckman. So interesting to see how the fight plays out with these two. And the two leaders are a little bit more, have a little bit different pace in the different areas of the track. So Beckman is faster some of the areas on the main straight, and then Ray Acosta closes in on the infield. He made a mistake now going into turn 1.
Yeah, so loses some time and will be caught by those behind him, Logan and Cagnazzi. I thought someone had tapped the wall there where our camera was. They were so close to it on the exit onto the front straightaway. Davis in the background is in amongst this traffic, of course, of the blue and yellow car, but he is not running in Pirelli Am. He runs in the Trofeo Pirelli category. Number 14, Hopkins. So Gregory Hopkins had a problem. Where is there contact on the car? No. Okay. So well, maybe a bit of damage. We're not sure. And full course yellow. No. Nobody wants a full course yellow. So that's the T car of 26. So 20. That means they're using their spare car. Eric Marston using the spare car. Come on, Eric, get it off the track for us. Come on. If you can get it off the track, we might come back from a full course yellow very quickly with any luck. They pull that yellow in off. Are we going to get a green flag again immediately up on the Yes, we are. They've changed their minds. Good, great call from race control. Davis with problems. Tony Davis has been swallowed up by everybody. Levy goes by, Mascaro goes by as well. So Davis has got a problem there. Undoubtedly, either that or a big mistake, missed gear, something. Musial and Burrows side by side off here. Levy going to try and get around the outside now of Musial. He's right underneath him as they come onto the front straight. So watch here for off-here Levy trying to get the slipstream. Burrows has managed to get past and is trying to disappear off. So you'll see him move up. It's close, but I don't know if it's close enough to be able to pull out the slipstream. It is. Levy pulls from the slipstream to try at turn 1. Musial goes a bit defensive. Mascaro is there as well in the background. Favre was inside DL as they come towards turn 1. And you're on board with Levy now. This is what it looks like to be smack in the middle of a Ferrari challenge fight. He runs the car out deep and gets into the apex. Musial with a slightly later apex might be able to get on the gas a bit earlier. Cross the curve on the left and the right, and then the run down towards turn 7. Good exit from the car in front.
Yeah, and you can also see that the difficulty in the SS following another car, you don't really see those curves. And I think that safety car call got caught with some of the drivers. There was on the screen, and I think even communicated to some of the drivers, they were slowing their speed and suddenly it disappeared. So a little bit of confusion there. Safety car, no safety car, and suddenly we are back to racing.
Yeah, I think you with the two cars driving away where they were, clearly it would have been a full course yellow, but both drivers were good enough to drive out of that situation, which makes a massive difference for us being able to continue the race here without getting in behind the safety car, and that's what we all want. The number 30 is Dave Musial. Out front, though, is Massimo Perina. And let's have a look at the gaps. What's he got at the moment? He's done the fastest lap, and he has a gap of 1.4 seconds over his uncle Roberto Dillon. He's a further 0.9 back. Kaminsky 1.1 off. So they're kind of separated 3.6 over the top 4 is not a lot. And Tony Davis has got 3 warnings, so that's a penalty. But I don't know whether that's track limits or something else. So the 3 red stripes means that Davis has got a penalty. So unfortunately, the gamble of not taking quality this morning just didn't pay off.
Yeah, he started the wrong way already at the start. He timed it wrong. He wanted to react. He was already a little bit off the formation on the right-hand side, trying to see the green flag and have a run on the other drivers, but then he timed it a bit wrong.
Acosta getting passed here by Logan up the inside. The pole man Logan moves up 1 position into P2. Ray Acosta was in that second place behind Esteban Beckman. What's the gap between them? Beckman was 2 seconds up the road from Acosta. Yes, you can see him just in the distance. So now this is about whether or not Logan can close down Beckman. And Beckman, I have to say, with a bit of clear air around him, is doing a completely different job to yesterday, proving he can do the laps consistently.
Yeah, on Beckman's side, you can see a completely different driver and driving today. He was very aggressive at the start. He wanted to defend the place. He went side by side with Ray Acosta, didn't let his place and the lead of the category, and he's now in his own speed, doing his own lap times and just pulling away from the others.
Yeah, great to see, isn't it? We want to see, you can see aggressive inputs on the opening lap of the race as well, just clearly on top of the car. He'll have been annoyed with yesterday. To get pole is brilliant. He'd love to do the pole win thing, but you know, maybe it's not a bad thing to go, I've had to reset overnight. He'll have had a big word with himself.
And it makes you grow also on the mental side. You need to put on the side the mistakes, the errors of the previous day. And like we mentioned earlier, it's good to get back to the car as quickly as you can. So you try to redo in the right way.
Cagnazzi, sorry to interrupt. Cagnazzi gets around the outside. Acosta's got a problem. Acosta's going backwards here, unless he made a major mistake coming out of the corner at the back end of the straight. He's been swallowed up everywhere. Musial now coming as well. So something happened to Acosta. It doesn't look bad now. I think he must have made a mistake, surely up at turn 4, because they just passed him like he was standing still.
Also, they went side by side into the SS 5 and 6, and one of the 2 drivers had to back off, otherwise there would have been a contact. So I think Ray Acosta had to lift in 5. So then he had a really poor run to the whole back straight between 6 and 7.
Yeah, so actually did well to hold on to the positions he has. Cagnazzi managed to get through. And I think, I'm not sure who else it was. Ophir Levy now is in behind, much closer to Musial, and up at turn 1, your race leader, Massimo Perina, with Roberto Perina behind. Massimo's gap is 2.0. Medler is still right there, look, with Roberto Perina, and how about Kaminsky's 1.2 off the back of them, but Massimo Perina here, this is a bit of a class, isn't it, at the moment? They're still there, but 2 seconds is enough. Let's see if he edges that gap up or not. Kaminsky just a little way. There's the one battle for P2 and P3 here. I think Medler is still onto the back of Perina here. Medler late on the brakes, very late on the brakes. A lot of aggression in Medler's car here. Just the attitude of it. You can see, right, Medler's going after Roberto Perina now. Got to try and find a way through.
Yeah, Dylan Medler last lap was 3/10 faster than Roberto Perina, so he's trying to close that gap. I must say Roberto Perina is doing a great weekend. Yesterday P2, important points for the championship, but also helping Massimo a bit to pull more gap in the championship. And again, Roberto after the start, very aggressive P2 and fighting there for another podium finish.
Yeah, I started the season with a DNF, then a couple of 4ths and 5ths, but actually since Miami has been on the podium all the time, so 2/3 to P2 yesterday. So yeah, Roberto is clearly feeling good. Gap last time round was what, 0.9, and it's 0.8 this time, so Medler a little bit closer. I felt he lost a bit of time in that final sector. Kaminsky only 1.4 off the back.
We see during the weekend that the cars that are running the similar pace, when you get close enough, then it's difficult to make the maneuver. It's difficult to follow the other driver unless he makes a mistake. Even if Dylan initially had a little bit more pace than Roberto, once he caught him, it's difficult to make the difference.
And how crucial is the aero on the front of these cars? We all know with single-seaters it's absolutely critical, but the turbulence is still a big thing for a GT car.
Yes,
car.
yeah, it's a big thing. And I feel like with the evolution of the cars, on the single lap we are faster and faster every year, but we depend more the performance on the aero. So it's quite difficult to follow a car closely, also for many laps, and then you overheat the tires and you lose more performance.
So you're looking at the black and gold there of Sebastian Mascaro with Brad Falvey, yesterday's winner, in behind. They are currently a fair way down the order now at the moment in Pirelli Am. 8th and 9th, I think they are overall. We're on lap 7 here. Yesterday we did 22 laps under green flag conditions for the entire race. There's 18 minutes remaining. Burrows has gone up 4 places. Cagnazzi has gone up 4 places. Contact between... it's Gray Falver, sorry. McWilliams and Gray Falver there. Contact between them. Down towards the end of the straight. Great action from this slot, it really is. But yeah, 4 places up for Cagnazzi and Burrows. Look, 4 places up for McWilliams as well, and a few lost places. Esteban Beckman up 2 from qualifying third. So Beckman doing a better job from his P3 quality than he did from the pole yesterday. Oh, and that's a move up the inside. Martin Burrows and Chris Cagnazzi. So has Cagnazzi taken the place? No, he's... Yes, he has. Yes, Burrows has taken the place. Burrows has gone up on the ladder on the left-hand side. You can see where they were on the previous lap, and he's got it done. That was nice. Was that turn 1? I think it was.
Yeah, turn 1. And Burrows was the driver to follow yesterday. He had a lot of pace in the race, and he was moving forward. And then the accident on the last lap, I think, was partly caused because Burrows had a technical issue. He slowed down a bit going into 13, and that's when things started to happen.
Yeah, it was. You're right, because they went either side of him, didn't they? And then there was a bit of carnage in the last corner. So Burrows, I don't know if you saw at the end of the straight into turn 7, was significantly sideways on the turn-in. This is about the point in the race yesterday where we started to see the tyres go off and we started to see more mistakes come in. Those are the 2 class leaders in front of him. So Burrows, last time round, was 0.3 off the previous car, which was Cagnazzi. So that's no good. So Beckman, I'm trying to see what the gap would have been, plus 1.6. It was 1.9 between them. When they come over the line this time round, we'll try and find out whether that gap's coming down or not. They're coming up to the line any second now. It was 1.9, it's 1.7. So Burrows has taken 0.2 of a second, as well as the pass has taken 0.2 of a second out of Logan, the car in front of him in Pirelli Am. So Burrows is the driver on the move in the black car in Trofeo Pirelli Am. Oh, Ophir Levy, there's something going on down here, isn't there? Ray Acosta behind Musial. I haven't seen if there was a change of position or not. Mascaro in that pack as well in the gold and black. Levy goes out wide and looks back to the inside line. Levy looking for a good exit. You're on board with him now as he tries to get alongside Ray Acosta. This is the double kick at the back straight. He might have had to lift just a little bit there when Acosta was on the line he anticipated. Acosta goes defensive on the brakes down the inside. Musial looking up the inside line here and is going to make that stick in the background. Oh, Ray, and who's that? Acosta's going slowly, so Acosta's gone backwards. Everybody's come back through, so something happened to Acosta on the straight. Oh, Mascaro looking up the inside here on Christopher Cagnazzi. Cagnazzi's got a problem too. So Cagnazzi going slowly, the pack are going left and right around him. Ray Acosta's still going and seemingly still with good pace, but Sebastian Mascaro must have made some places up there. Ophir Levy in front is also having a fight, having a look, trying to find a way past Musial. Couldn't be any closer. On board now again, good line here from Levy. Levy should get a better exit onto the straight. Light it up now. Tuck under that rear wing, get in the slipstream and see if you can get it done at the end of the straight. Past the flip-flop camera on the wall, now comes Levy behind Musial. Mascaro. Fantastic stuff from these guys. Mascaro was in P8 and moves up to P6 on this lap. Ophir Levy not able to be quite close enough to get the slipstream done. Carnage on that lap with a couple of people on sort of slow ones.
Yeah, it was a bit confusing to see many drivers suddenly slowing down. I was trying to spot if there was a safety car or something else happening, yellow flags on track. Instead, just two cars slowed down, one of them being Ray Acosta, and suddenly a lot of cars moving and improving their position.
The ladder on the left tells you what you need to know. Ophir Levy up 9 places. You ride on board with him now, or you did. He's up into P5. And this is Burrows, who's closed down on that gap. We said it had come down by 0.2 of a second. It's now come down by more like 1.2 seconds. He is all over the back here of the Class P2 driver, Logan, who was the pole earlier on today. So Burrows with the fastest lap and with 5 moves up, he's looking to try and get past Logan. After that, he'll have his sights set on Esteban Beckman. I'd quite like to see that, just to see how Beckman responds to the pressure. It's a late dive up the inside. Burrows gets it done, and he's dropped it. Beckman's dropped it. So Beckman has dropped it, and Logan still holds the lead now. They've both managed to avoid Beckman in front. The pressure didn't come. He dropped it on his own, coming down off the banking at turn 12. Oh, now he's on the grass. Chill. You got to get it back on the pavement before you gun it. He's back on the pavement now, so Esteban Beckman falls down the leaderboard. Jay Logan moves to the lead. Burrows is just in behind. The gap between them is 0.2 of a second at the end of the straight. Defensive line from Logan, and Burrows knows now he's up for the win.
Yeah, Beckman, another spin. 16.5 minutes, he had the lead of the race and then just made a mistake coming out of turn 12. At the same time, Burrows flew inside into 12, couldn't make it. Now another try.
Again. Yeah, got up the inside here. Nicely done. Burrows actually makes that look pretty easy, doesn't he, as he gets into the tightening turn 4 and slides up the inside of Logan. So Burrows now, you'd have to say, I think might be able to check out on this. It depends on tyre wear, of course, a little bit. That's a great move, really clean.
Yeah, Burrows is showing great skills in the race, maybe struggling a bit in qualifying, but seeing the race of yesterday and today he's repeating the same stuff, overtaking, very aggressive. When he catches another car, makes the move straight away and doesn't lose a lot of time behind another car.
He was P3 yesterday. He only raced with us earlier on in the year in Sonoma for the 2 rounds. He missed Miami and Daytona. But he's back here in Indianapolis and in some style. Sonoma, look, he was 7th and 9th, so decent, but not setting, not pulling up trees, as we would say. And I tell you what, he's pulling up forests today with this performance. It's incredible.
Yeah, he's very hungry. He's keeping few events. He really wants to show.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
he really wants to show. He's full of energy.
Yeah, maybe that's what we need to do, Tony. We'll take a rest for a few events, and then we'll come back hungrier. There was a really nice move in the tightening turn 4 because it's hard to get up the inside there. He's just lifted at the right moment, tucked the nose in, and then got a good exit onto the back straight as well.
But I really like the momentum and the rhythm he has with his driving. As soon as he catches another driver, doesn't stay behind, he goes for an overtaking, and very, very nice to see and nice to watch.
Clean overtaking too, that's
exactly.
The thing, isn't it? He's managed to pull them off. So you're looking at P2 and P3 overall, which is also in Trofeo Pirelli. In front, the white and red car is Roberto Perina, Dylan Medler P3 at the moment. That's how they finished yesterday. Medler got a penalty actually after the finish for an infringement at the rolling start. We think he changed lanes as Roberto Perina gets sideways on the exit there of turn 12. Just a little handful of opposite lock, which would suggest that his tyres might be gone as well. Kaminsky is 2.5 off the back of these two. Massimo has dropped it. That's Valvera in the 66. Valvera's dropped it at the end of the straight yesterday. Tony Davis nudged him, we think. So Tony Davis has got a bit of a problem here. I don't know what the issue is with the car, but heading slowly round, and sounds like him and Valvera might have come together, so that's a shame. That is a shame. Let's take a look. So this is at the okay, right? So Valvera's defensive. Davis is looking up the inside. Tony?
Difficult to say. I mean, that corner is very tight. Fowler almost had blocked the whole inside, and then Tony Davis. I think these two drivers are even in a different category.
They
so,
are, yeah. So
so
you're not fighting.
those are a bit questionable moves, and yeah, not great to see. Maybe Tony should have been a little bit more side by side, having seen that replay only once. But obviously we have better people in race direction and with the stewards, and they will make the right calls.
So Medler's got past Perina as well. So Medler has made a pass on Perina. We'll see if we can dig it out.
Yeah, Dylan was
Take another look.
closing that gap, but I thought that the overtaking would have been a little bit more difficult. They were doing pretty similar pace, so maybe Roberto has done a mistake.
Yeah, so we're going to see. We don't think we've got it, unfortunately, the pass, which is fair enough because there has been a lot going on. But Medler now, how far back is Medler? Is 5.3 off the lead, and we look at the seats now, still 5.5. So he's lost another 2/10 with that pass. You'd expect that he would lose some time making the pass because he's had to come offline at some point. And Roberto Perina gets pulled in. Kaminsky now will be on Perina in the background. Watch for Johnny Kaminsky. Not quite close enough. I thought he maybe ought to close that down a little bit more. Maybe he got pulled into the braking zone too.
Yeah, Roberto made a mistake going into one, just trying to brake too deep, trying to close that gap to Dylan Medler, and then he overshot the corner and ended up losing way more time.
So Kaminsky now has a target in front of him. Perina and Medler are running the positions they were in at the start of the race. And okay, there was a mistake, so it's hard for us to see what Medler's pace is compared to Perina, but we'll check it out on the next lap. On the previous one, Massimo Perina was 0.3 of a second quicker than Medler. Here you can see Kaminsky versus Roberto Perina. Perina was quicker on lap 14. But with that mistake now, Kaminsky will be a bit closer. But it's all about the gap out front. 5.5 it was as they come down towards the end of the lap. And we want to see whether or not Medler is closing down on Massimo. Then, of course, it'll be a case of do the team call Massimo and go, you need to wind it up a notch. So let's see what the gap is. 5.5 it was at the start of this one. Past commentary now, the first about half. Medler crosses over the timing line and the gap is 5.8, so it's gone up by 0.3 of a second. So Massimo Perina continuing to push and just try and edge out a little bit more of a lead. Martin Burrows, the leader of Pirelli Am. Great job, J. Logan, just 2.4 back. Then it's Musial, Levy and Mascaro. So Mascaro and Levy have come a long way up the grid. I can't remember how many positions it is. I know we've got it somewhere. We'll see if the team can chuck up for us who's made up the most positions. Burrows doing a fantastic job here. So over the line, Burrows leading from Logan, Musial, Levy and Mascaro. That's your top 5 in Trofeo Pirelli Am. Amanda, what have you got for us on Burrows?
Yeah, I was catching up with them in Casa Ferrari earlier. We were talking about rain conditions, if they were going to happen today, and Martin would be in one of those guys, hey, I'll take it. But he also said that he knows how to race here. He knows how to race smart here. And while he had issues at the end of yesterday's race, he said that the car feels great and my race pace is excellent, and that is on display here. Andrew, I also wanted to add, while Greg Hopkins is not able to finish this race, after yesterday's race he lost his grandfather unexpectedly, Bobby Miller. He chose to race today in honor of him, told him that his grandfather would tune in for every race that Gregory was watching and racing. So big thoughts and prayers to the Carroll family, to the Millers, and to Greg Hopkins.
Yeah, much love from everyone here at Ferrari. Great to know he's such a fan of a wonderful sport. Yeah, full heart as well for going out racing in honour. Good stuff, good stuff. Burrows 7 positions up, Logan down 1, Musial up 2, Ophir Levy up 10 positions, you're on with him now, and Mascaro up 6. Williams up 7, look, but Levy, who you're right on board with, up 10 positions. He'd love to go just one more and stick it on the podium, wouldn't he? He's right there and in the mix.
Yeah, and he had the misfortunes yesterday when Ray Acosta touched his car and sent him to spin in the end of the last lap, and he wants to redo the potential podium he had on his hands yesterday, and he's very close now.
He is indeed. He's got 6 minutes 20 left to go. I think most people now will be looking forward to seeing the checker flag. I think you can see they're getting a bit of understeer on the exit from turn number 2. This is what we were talking about earlier. Everything gets a bit knife edgy. You make a mistake and it's magnified.
Yeah, with the tire wear and with the degradation of the tires, you can see drivers really using the track, going offline a bit at the exit of the S's. You just need to be really careful, be even ready to catch and control the car if you have a sudden oversteer. Be careful with the understeer at the high-speed section when you're coming back to the main straight, not to go too close to the wall on the left-hand side. So at this time, it's more about the car control than pure pace. And also some differences setup-wise. Some cars suffer with more understeer, some pick up more oversteer, and that is a balance you need to really fine-tune already starting from the practice, and then learn the lessons that were learned from yesterday's race and improve the setup for today.
Ophir Levy was 0.8 off the back of Musial at the start of this lap, and visually you can see it's less than 0.8 now. So can Levy pull off what would be an incredible performance? 10 positions up already. Can he go another couple of positions? Because both those podium spots there didn't quite come together, did it, on the exit of 13? Maybe a bit keen on the throttle in 12. Musial now having a look at Logan. Towards the end of the straight, goes low, now goes high. Ophir Levy there to pick up the pieces if it goes wrong. Logan is compromised on entry, and that's going to put Levy onto the back of those two. And Mascaro too. Do not count out Sebastian Mascaro. He's had two great fight backs, him and Levy. And, Levy kicking up dust as he runs across the pavement onto the grass. Through the right-hander. Listen to the throttle here. Maybe the slightest roll-off between 4 and 5 with a change of direction where it might have been flat on stickers. But Levy will be looking ahead to see what's going on as Logan goes defensive again. And that again will put him onto the back of the pack. Nothing between them. Look, between Musial and Levy, it's literally tenths either way. Ophir Levy is right there, and Mascaro will be keeping one eye as well. Levy's got good pace through the left-hander. You'd have to say that these two might be quicker, but you've got to find a way through, haven't you?
Levy gets a very good exit from turn 10, and he's very close going into 12.
Is he going to dare to do anything? He's just got understeer all the way through there, isn't he? You can hear he's not quite full throttle, just rolled off a little bit, used the curve on the inside. Here's where I thought he went early on the throttle last time and compromised the exit through this left. Musial gets a little bit sideways at the apex. And Ophir Levy, just as I think a handful of boxes lock over the curbs on the outside, and again, a few car lengths back.
Yeah, he keeps losing a little bit of ground to Dave Musial and Logan at the exit of 13. He carries a lot of speed into the apex of the corner, but then he's lacking a little bit of time going on throttle and loses time.
So Levy's got to watch out, because if Mascaro gets onto the back of him, he'll have to start looking backwards, and he wants to be looking forwards. These four cars, look, are within a second across the four of them for P2 in this race, and this is exactly what we had yesterday in Pirelli-Am. It came down to turn 12 and turn 13 on the final lap of the race. With 3 minutes left to go, I reckon we'll get, what, 1-2 more, I think, to the checker on this one. Burrows is out front, and if he could see that far back in his mirrors, I think right now he'd be relieved he managed to gap this lot a bit earlier on in this encounter.
Yeah, that's true. That gives you a little bit more breathing space at these final laps. You don't need to fight as hard as these drivers, and also the fact that Logan needs to protect the racing line, cover a little bit the inside going into the corners. This allows Barrows to pull away.
Logan has managed to gap Musial just a little bit through the long right-hander. Let's watch here then for Ophir Levy and Musial. So Levy through here picks up the throttle very early, but then he doesn't come back across. He's looking now. Oh, and he's gone into him. Levy into the side of Musial, and Sebastian Mascaro picks up places in exactly the same place he did yesterday. They gun the throttle, desperate to get away. I could have gone round the outside of Levy there. Levy's lucky to get away with that. He goes inside Musial, having had contact with him earlier. Musial aggressively moves in behind him. He won't be happy with that. I was surprised at where he made the move. Now they're losing pace onto the front straight, and they might lose places behind them. Over the line now, Mascaro up into P3, Levy, Musial, it's DL who is in the background between them, then Venceslas in the yellow, Brad Favre inside, passes Venceslas. Could Favre get back to the podium here? He could do. No, Mascaro's up the road, so Mascaro's up the road. I think the podium's safe now. Ophir Levy up 10 places, but Sebastian Mascaro very impressive, up 8, wow. And Burrows up 7 for the win, if he holds on.
Yeah, if Levy was the victim yesterday, I think on this case he was a little bit of villain going into 13.
Musial
is still behind, obviously really determined after the contact
those areas are difficult to overtake because you really need to have the space for both cars. If the leading car is closing the line, then you end up with the contact, and with the two speeding cars like we saw.
Levy, this is the point where you were saying Levy has great pace. He has great pace into 13 here, where he obviously looks up the inside. Now, normally...
he's a bit late.
Yeah,
I don't know if there was never the gap.
No, and I think maybe he's frustrated because his turn-in pace, you were saying, is so good into 13, but then he was losing on the exit.
Exactly.
He need to focus on the exit speed and try to pull it off at the end of the straight. But
he's giving the place back.
Yeah, fair play, fair play. Okay, so Ophir Levy gives the place back, fair play. And I say, a hell of a performance to come up 9 positions it will be right now. Great racing from them. And a nice gentlemanship as well. I've been a big fan of Levy's work this weekend. And Mascaro too. So Mascaro and Burrows moving up so many places. Logan in P2 having taken the pole in second place overall. 20 seconds left to run. So I think do they get shown the white flag now, or are we looking at checkered flag? I've lost any concept of where we are. Are we on the last race, the last lap, or are we waiting? White flag. White flag's out now. So white flag is out now. Oh, Esteban Beckman looked down in P11, having led this one earlier on, led to about half race distance. That's the way it goes. That is the way it goes. Massimo Perina, the gap is 5.9 to Medler, so he's managed it nicely, and it's a further 5 seconds back to Roberto Perina. Kaminsky is only 0.9 off the back of Roberto Perina. So could Kaminsky challenge for the final place on the podium in Trofeo Pirelli on this last lap? Burrows has a tidy lead of 2.5 over the top of Logan, and Logan, I say, 1.7 up the road from Mascaro. Look for Mascaro in the background. There he is. I don't think we'll see anything crazy happen there, but yeah, Kaminsky within a shout of Roberto Perina. Here's Burrows, your leader. Logan and Mascaro, so it's all settled down at the front now. We're not going to see the carnage happened a couple of laps earlier than it happened yesterday, but it has been good racing. This has been my favourite racing of the year. I think we've seen great racing in both encounters. We really have. Who's that into the pits? Levy? Okay, so Ophir Levy gone into the pits, so unless he's been given it, he could drive through penalty maybe for the contact. So that was what they did yesterday with Mitchell Green. So there we go. Massimo Perina doing an absolutely incredible job again today. 5.9 seconds up the road as he comes on to the start-finish straight to take the win. It's another brilliant performance from Perina. Absolutely dominant this weekend. He's taken the pole and the fastest lap on both days as well. Is this the weekend that he put both hands on the trophy? There's a long way to go yet, so don't count your chickens, because Medler, Perina and Kaminsky all crossed the line for 2, 3 and 4, and they're all the front runners in this series. Burrows has done an incredible job. He's taken the fastest lap as well. It's the P2 man Logan that was on the pole, but Burrows fighting his way through the field to a well-deserved first victory this year for him. He's got a couple of corners to go. Logan is a bit closer than he was on the lap before, but that won't bother him. There's some stuff hanging off the bottom of Burrows' car. He might be able to hear that and be worrying about what it is, but he's just got the long right-hander to go. Burrows, who only raced at the start of the year with us, came back yesterday to go P3, and he was obviously hungry, as Tony Villander said, because today he goes P1. Burrows crosses the line for the win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, followed by Logan and Mascaro, who came up from the back of the grid both days. Fantastic job, Sebastian Mascaro.
Yeah, great racing and great stories. Having a little bit less speed in qualifying doesn't mean that you're out of the race. There are a lot of drivers that gained a lot of places, bringing the performance up even to podium or even to win the race. So impressive, but also this young man, Massimo Perina, dominating the whole weekend in Pirelli in our top class. So very great to see. And this driver, Burrows, one of the drives of the weekend, showing great performance yesterday, and today no issues with the car, and Martin Burrows earns the win in Trofeo Pirelli.
Yeah, great job. Great job. 4th win for Massimo Perina with a double win here. He'd taken the 2 already, I say the 3 if you count the one that was taken away. You can't count that, obviously, but in terms of position on track. So he's had 4 outright wins, 2 P2s here this season. Amazing job. Rolls back into Parc Ferme. I think he'll be very happy with his weekend's work here. 2 more races to go over here in the USA before the finale mondiale. We've got, of course, heading up to Watkins Glen next, and then down to Laguna Seca. It's the other drivers have got to do something now to take away the dominance of Perina.
I think as the season has progressed, Massimo, together with his team, they have fine-tuned the setup. he knows now, like last year with the 488, what to do in qualifying, how to take the race starts, how to dominate the races, when to set the fastest lap, then control the race. So like you mentioned, I think others have some work to do, and it's difficult to stop the momentum like Massimo has now.
Yeah, brilliant job, brilliant job. Thank you, Tony, for all your company and insight this weekend. Tony Verlander, Ferrari ambassador, and a very, very good television announcer as well. So he should be. He does a bunch of F1 in Finland. If you speak Finnish, you know, you may have heard him. Yeah, great guy. And Amanda Busick down in the pits as well. Fantastic to be working with you guys over here on this brilliant series, and to witness what's been, I say, great racing both days. It really has. Well, we had like one full course yellow with a little bit of red, and that's it. It's the drivers have done a fantastic job here of just being a little bit more measured in their performances, and you know, realizing when a move's not on and pulling out of it. Yeah, we've had a few mistakes, but not as much as we've seen before. Great job. Let's take a look at the results then from this one. Massimo Perina with his 4th win of the year, his title rival, arch rival, Dylan Medler, the current champion in P2. Roberto Perina got 3rd, Kaminsky got 4th, then McWilliams, Fowler, Musial Jr. and McCarthy down to P8. Burrows and Logan 9th and 10th, but the winners, of course, P1 and P2 of their class. Sebastian Mascaro 3rd in Pirelli Am. Then Dave Musial, Matthew DL, Brad Fowler, yesterday's winner, Gerda Vince Lavas, Robert McWilliams, Dan Magnazuski, Ophir Levy, who was so good earlier on, then unfortunately just got it wrong on that little pass attempt on Musial later on in the race. So that's the way it goes sometimes. We do want to see them try. I say it's been a great weekend.
Good job.
Good job. Yeah, definitely. Amanda Busick is already with Massimo Perina, our 4-time winner.
Well, it'll be recorded as a 1-2 finish for the Perinas in both races here in Indianapolis, and another quite dominating performance by you here today, Massimo. But when you think of this weekend in reflection, how impactful will it have been to your championship hunt?
Very impactful. I mean, 2 races, full sweep, pole, fastest lap, win. Can't get much better than that. I think the points will be looking a lot more in our favor leaving here.
What are your thoughts as you leave Indianapolis?
Oh, well, it's a bit of a statement this weekend. I mean, for Ferrari of Seattle and for Roberto and I and everyone a part of Scuderia 99 and Ferrari of Seattle, it sets the standard again.
Congratulations to Massimo Perina. I do see that the wreath is around Martin Burrows, who is a regular in the Ferrari Challenge paddock, joining us back in 2018. And if my stats are correct, this will be his 11th career win in Ferrari Challenge. And Martin, as I get you over here for this interview, Tony Verlander just said that your race was the drive of the weekend. How did you line up that overtake on Jay?
I think my way is to have no hesitation. As soon as a hole like this, I dive in, or say I see a little mistake, I go ahead too. So because a lot of good drivers have a tad of hesitating, and you don't have time for that. But we are like a bunch of guys who have lots of skill in that series, so it's a lot of fun. And I'm coming back from pretty big injuries, and now I feel I'm top shape.
I talked to you in the Casa Ferrari ahead of this race, and you said that you had the race pace. You started 8th in this race. Why did you believe this was possible?
Because I compare my race pace to the other guys when they do their racing simulation. So I know I could do it. So I said, okay, let's try, you know.
Well, try he did. Martin Burrows on the top step here yet again in Ferrari Challenge.
Great to hear that from Martin. So he knew he had the race pace from the testing through Wednesday through to Friday. He knew that over a long run he could do it, even if he's not getting it done in qualifying. And he said exactly what you said, Tony Verlander, which is that when he catches a car, he doesn't hesitate, he goes. So, yeah, great stuff. Parc Ferme down in pit road at the incredible Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's been a pleasure to be at this legendary venue this weekend. The yard of bricks just behind the 6 cars, which make up the 2 podiums for Pirelli and Pirelli Am. Parked underneath the famous pagoda, and there it is. Drivers' Championship standings then. Massimo Perina, yesterday I think the gap, I thought it was around 15, but either way, it's 25 today. He's done the triple both days. The triple-double, the win, the fastest lap, and the pole position as well. Dylan Medler right there, and then Kaminsky. There's a little gap in between those two, 15 points. Roberto Perina P4, Gray Fowler, Dave Musial Jr., Tony Davis, and Ethan McWilliams. Further down, Jason McCarthy, Manny Franco, Brian Cook, and Luke French. Interesting what Massimo said. This is a statement this weekend. It's not much of a dig, but it really was. Brad Falvera leads in Pirelli and by 11 points from Sebastian Mascaro. I'll tell you what, I think Mascaro's moved up from P4 to P2 this weekend. I'd have to check my points, but I think he's moved up 2 positions. And that's brilliant because neither day has Mascaro qualified well, but he's kept in there. He's capitalised when other people have made mistakes. And for me, he's one of the drivers of the weekend as well. Dave Musial, Jay Logan, Ophir Levy, and the rest. Martin Burrows in P9. Look, and remember, only raced 4 times this year out of the 8 rounds. But William Deal, Cagnazzi, Bergeron, Marston, Duran, etc. down the running order here. Great racing from them all. Right, let me check where he was when we came here. Cool. Okay, no, I'm totally wrong. He was in P2 anyway. Well done, Andrew. Great maths. But either way, he holds on to P2, and I think the thing is he wouldn't have done without those fight backs. Good job by Sebastian. Yes, they had a technical issue in qualifying. We didn't find out today why he was as far down the field as he was, but he'll be really happy with 2 podiums, I'm sure. What about Massimo and the statement?
Yeah, I mean, with our leading drivers in Pirelli, it's also a little bit of mental game.
Of course.
Showing what you got, not winning by a small margin, but trying to dominate the race. And yeah, difficult to beat Massimo right now, but this will put Dylan also in a position where he needs to work really hard to close that gap to Massimo, and then we will have some great fights again. We saw Miami, these 2 drivers coming together. We said that from here on, probably the aggression level has raised. Maybe Massimo got even more pace from that moment on. So Dylan and his team, they need to work a bit.
Looking forward to the final 2 rounds of the season. Over here in America, of course, there's a 3rd round to take place at the Finale Mondiale. Podium's getting ready, and Tony Verlander, I think you might be one of the VIPs today, so Tony's going to have to exit the commentary box. Thank you for your help today, mate. I'll see you at the podium. So Tony Verlander, will be presenting some of the trophies, so he's heading down to the podium now. If you're watching online, we will have the podiums very shortly indeed. We're lining the drivers up, and we'll get them out there just as soon as we can. So stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final podium presentation for the fourth round of Ferrari Challenge North America from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Delighted to have you all here with us today. Let's get ready and bring out our first winners of the day. We're going to begin with the presentation for the 296 Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli class. So please welcome in third place, Roberto Perina. In P2, it is Dylan Medler. And the winner the second time this weekend, fourth time this year, Massimo Perina. Please remove your hats for our winner's national anthem. Please give a warm welcome to Tony Villander, Ferrari ambassador, to present the trophies to our winners. Third place, Roberto Perina. Great job this weekend. Second place, Dylan Medler. Fantastic driving all weekend as well. But the double winner, double fastest lap and double pole is Massimo Perina. We please also invite Lydia Mariani, Pirelli Commercial Manager, Motorsport North America, from our partners at Pirelli to present the Pirelli Award to our winner, Massimo Perina. And please welcome a representative from Ferrari of Seattle to accept the Trofeo Pirelli Team Award, once again presented by Tony Villander, Ferrari Ambassador. Congratulations to everybody today. Please hold those trophies high for the photos. And then one last time on the incredible podium at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's time for the champagne. Oh, Perina fires it off with a bash down on the top of the podium. Championship hotting up in the Pirelli category. Fantastic stuff from IMS. Next up, we'd like to invite the winners of the 296 Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli AM class. In third place with another amazing fight back, Sebastian Mascaro. Great driving from Seb this weekend, it really was. P2, our pole sitter today, Jay Logan gets second place. But the winner with a fantastic drive through the field and some great passing, Martin Burrows. Amazing racing from Trofeo Pirelli AM this weekend. So please remove your hats for the winner's national anthem. Now to present the trophies to our winners, please welcome Dan Skyver, Director of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Third place to Mascaro. Second place to Logan. And your winner today, Martin Burrows. We'd also like to invite Lydia Mariani, Pirelli Commercial Manager, Motorsport North America, from our partners at Pirelli to present the Pirelli Award to our winner, Martin Burrows. Please also welcome a representative from Ferrari of Quebec to accept the Trofeo Pirelli AM Team Award, once again presented by Dan Skyver, the Director of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Thank you to Dan and everyone at IMS for a brilliant weekend racing here. Congratulations, everybody. Get those trophies held up high, please. And then it's one final race. Who can be the quickest to the champagne? Here we go. Next up, we will invite the winners of the 296 Ferrari Challenge Copper Shell onto the podium. In third place, Kevin Orsini. In second place, Mitchell Green. And in P1, Jan Bernier, the winner both times today. A brilliant performance. Let's please also welcome our Ladies' Cup winner, Lisa Clark. Please remove your caps for our winners' national anthem. Please give a warm welcome back to Dan Skyver, the Director of Indianapolis Motor Speedway, to present the trophies to our winners. Thank you, Dan. P3, Kevin Orsini. P2 to Mitchell Green. And first place, Jan Bernier. Also our Ladies' Cup, Lisa Clark. Now please welcome a representative from Ferrari of Seattle to accept the Copper Shell Team Award, once again presented by Dan Skyver, Director of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Congratulations, everybody, for your performances today. Get those trophies held up high for the photos, please. And then you've one more job to do. It's time, of course, for the champagne. Finally then, the presentation for the 296 Ferrari Challenge Copper Shell AM winners. In third place, Lewis Flory. Double podium this weekend. In second place, give a warm welcome to Gabe Hrib. E1 today, though, goes to Fabian Sperman. Please also welcome our Ladies' Cup winner, Melissa Kozira. And our Gentleman's Cup winner already on the stage in P1, Fabian Sperman. Please, everybody, remove your hats for our winner's national anthem. Please welcome to the stage to present the trophies to our winners, Alex Gill from Ferrari After Sales. Also a warm welcome to Lance Corley, who is actually our Gentleman's Cup winner today, on the left-hand side of the podium. Alex handing out the trophies for P3, 2 and 1, Lewis Flory, Gabe Hrib, and now, of course, our winner, Fabian Sperman. Melissa Kozira with the Ladies' Cup. And Lance Corley with the Gentleman's Cup as well. Lastly, please welcome a representative from the collection to accept the Copper Shell AM Team Award, once again presented by Alex Gill, Ferrari After Sales. Congratulations, everybody, today. Get those trophies held up high for one last photo opportunity, please. And then to round out a fantastic doubleheader weekend here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you know what to do. It's time for the champagne! But a brilliant weekend here at IMS for Ferrari Challenge North America. We will be back in just a few short weeks' time at Watkins Glen. So if you're watching online, be sure to join us then for more of the same. Thank you so much to IMS for having us, and for you guys for watching. We will see you soon.